But all in all, I just feel like if this Liverpool team, let's say they remain like this to the coming season, look, they have a serious claim for the Premier League title. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel Cranting. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's go. So Liverpool, unfortunately for them, they finished 5th last season. It means they'll be playing the Europa League in the coming season. But clearly from their transfer business, you can tell that Jurgen Klopp means business. He means business. He wants to retain his team back to the summit of English football. In the past couple of years, it's been Manchester City and Liverpool going at it. But some way, somehow, last season, surprisingly, Liverpool's level just dropped. And I've said the thing on my channel before, and I'll say it again. I feel like Liverpool's defensive solidity largely lies on their pressing capabilities, not necessarily individuals who are technically gifted with defensive attributes. I feel like a large chunk of their defensive numbers and impressive defensive numbers over the years have come as a result of their pressing intensity, and we saw that drop a huge chunk last season due to the basically, for me, I think, was their aging midfield. The likes of Fabinho, Thiago Alcantara, Henderson. These guys are they were not as intense as we've seen them to be in previous seasons. It's been quite, of course, it was quite detrimental to Liverpool's season the last time around. But I feel like if you look at the transfer business they've done, you can clearly tell that Jurgen Klopp is trying to address those issues. And what I love about managers and properly structured teams is that during the course of the season, almost everybody can identify the problem. Then they go into the transfer window and they address those very problems. That is a mark of a team that has structure. It's very easy to identify where you need to fix, and during the transfer window, you go right at it and you get the business done. They brought in Alexis McAllister from Brighton, and then one of my favorite players in Europe, Dominic Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig. And what these two guys have, and we'll talk about their attacking prowesses or their attacking prowess later. But what they have fundamentally is the ability to understand this sort of system, this high press, high intensity system. RB Leipzig play a similar style, maybe not as intense as Jurgen Klopp's teams we've come to know Jurgen Klopp team to play. But you also look at Alexis McAllister under Brighton. They were high pressing under Potter, and even more intense under Roberto De Zerbi. So they understand that sort of system, and they bring some energy into the Liverpool midfield. The energy that was very much lacking last season is extremely important. If you look at the gaps between the Liverpool defense and the midfield last season, they put a lot of pressure on the defense, and that also resulted in them conceding the goals that they conceded last season. And I always felt like if they got that engine back into the midfield, that ability to press, high press, then those gaps will close, because then the press is starting from the front three, whoever is playing there, and then the midfield can also continue that progression, and then the defense can also close up, and that is what we've seen Jurgen Klopp's teams to be over the years. So the energy, when you look at the pressure stats of both Szoboszlai and McAllister coming in, you can tell that they fit right into that purpose of closing down opposition, especially in the middle areas, and whoever that they'll partner in that, or whoever will be that third leg in that midfield for Liverpool, will obviously, it looks like these three will be able to complement each other. But another thing about them is that if you look at Jurgen Klopp's midfields in Liverpool, they've usually been mostly engine, and then the creativity has come down the fullbacks. But in the past couple of seasons, you can tell through the signings he's made that he's trying to change that a bit. He's brought in Javier Lot, he's brought in Thiago Alcantara, trying to bring some more swag into that midfield, some more creativity into that midfield. And these two guys are the perfect balance of midfielders who can give you that engine and midfielders who are very good offensively. If you look at Dominic Szoboszlai's stats, and I'm not talking about stats, creative stats in terms of just assists. You look at his shot creation action on the ball, the amount of shots he takes, his passing ability, both medium, short, long passing, and the same as Alexis McAllister. They simply fit the bill. And another tool that they both have is their ball striking ability. And the interesting thing is that McAllister has a fantastic technique, and we've seen that in the Premier League. But Dominic Szoboszlai's ball striking ability is just a different level. And for me, when I look across the Liverpool front five, I'm talking about minus the number 6, who will most certainly be Fabinho, or most often be Fabinho. If you look at Szoboszlai, you look at Alexis McAllister, you look at Cody Gakpo, you look at Jota, you look at Salah, Diaz. These guys have very good ball striking ability, and it's very essential for teams like that, because in teams who tend to have the ball a lot, because when you're struggling to break down opposition, you always have that weapon which can hit a ball from distance and cause some trouble. So I think it's excellent business that Liverpool have done. I still think that they still need maybe another centre back in there. We've not been too impressed with the cameo shows that Joe Gomez has put in, and some may argue in the Joe Gomez camp that in a more settled system you see the best of him. But again, if you have Van Dijk, who wasn't too impressive last season individually, Konate, who was solid, but you can't necessarily guarantee that he'll be fit throughout the season. You still need that another extra centre back in there, and that's just what I feel. Matip is almost always injured. In terms of midfield also, I feel they need a last midfielder, another one. So maybe 2 more signings for Liverpool, a centre back and then a midfielder. But I feel the midfielder is more pressing personally for me. And the type of midfielder they need is somebody who's in the mold of Fabinho, somebody who can understudy him and then going forward become that main guy. Liverpool fans watching this will probably talk about Bajcetic, he was quite good last season, but I feel for an 18-year-old, he's still a bit raw. Yes, again, you can also argue that with the likes of Szoboszlai and McAllister, and if you have Curtis Jones, who will not necessarily will be a mainstay in the Liverpool team, when those guys come in as and when they can help him out. But all in all, I just feel like if this Liverpool team, let's say they remain like this to the coming season, look, they have a serious claim for the Premier League title. We know what they are able to do. We know what they are capable of doing. And the interesting thing about Klopp is that when the last time we saw Liverpool have this sort of a poor season was about 2-3 seasons ago, where they just snuck into the top 4 just at the tail end. The following season they came back and they were right in the title race again. So they have that ability to quickly bounce back, throw a poor performance behind them and come back. And we saw glimpses of that at the tail end of last season. Their last 10 games, I think they won about 7 or 8 of them. They were in brilliant form during the last stage of last season. So we know that this Liverpool team can always turn up and come back to what we know they can be under Jurgen Klopp. And I feel like with the 2 signings of McAllister and Szoboszlai, they've solved the main problem that they have had from last season. And barring any unforeseen circumstances, I feel like this Liverpool team have a serious claim at the championship. Let me hear what you have to think in the comment section, especially from Liverpool fans. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Who do you think your team needs to bring in? Or if you are satisfied with the business that you've done so far?